Hey everybody, this is Alaska. Here to let you know about Anchor by Spotify. Let me tell you about this system. So basically, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's everything you need all in one place. It's how we make our podcast. It's a great system. Gets you on all the sites you need. Anchor lets you record. You can edit like right from your phone or your computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating a podcast today. Then you can distribute your podcast to the most popular platforms, including Spotify, with like just a single tap. Once it's uploaded, it's out. Boom, you can get everything set up. Anchor is also the only place where you can publish video podcasts to Spotify. We're going to have to look into that. With Anchor, creators can earn money on a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's totally free. So if you download the Anchor app now, you can get yourself started and you could be like us, call out culture. It's kind of what we do here. So, get on it.
Welcome to Call Out Culture Podcast with Alaska, Curly Castro, and Zilla Rock.
All right, what it is, what it do, where it's at, and what it costs and shit. Gas is expensive, but oxtails are more expensive. Like, y'all people are concerned with gas, y'all drivers. I'm worried about the oxtail price. It's going through the roof.
A true indicator of inflation is the oxtail price.
You want to invest in something? Invest in oxtails, because the oxtail price is going through the roof. Tell me that share in the morning.
I'm going to go on Robinhood now. I'm going to buy the dip on oxtail.
I am Curly Castro, 1/3 of the Call Out Culture Triumvirate. And we are here today with I keep saying illustrious, but I'm going to stick with illustrious, even though I'm going to find some other words. I'm going to get my piece
I like to say magnanimous.
Oh, I like that one.
I like inimitable.
Indomitable?
Indomitable, gregarious.
I like effervescent. Is that a word?
Effervescent. I like
effervescent. He's effervescent.
I love effervescent. I always like that. The effervescent. I guess the effervescent. You know how it was the magnificent, especially with my brother right here. Tonight we have guests for on the Call Out Culture is the one and only Mike King. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
You know what I'm saying? First time guest, long time friend. Me and Mike go way back. A
lot of years.
Way back to the long dreads, patchouli, and and cats walking around Temple campus with a camera on their neck talking about their photography.
Yo, I like shoe stick era. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Serious shoe stick run.
I knew 3 cats working on calendars taking pictures of chicks. You know what I'm saying? It was a glorious time, boy. Glorious time. Enough beeswax to make your head spin. So tonight, this is my man Mike. We go back. Yeah, my man was shooting a calendar. It was late 90s, baby. Talk about.
Yeah.
Talk about. Nothing went to print. Nothing went to print Alaska. It was just over.
But anyway, figured, yeah.
Yeah, it was rules. I remember he started like 2 calendars, long process. It was hilarious.
Where was he going to sell them? Like DIY calendar salesman of college girls?
Pictures of the chicks in dorms around campus. I don't know.
Then you sell it to the boys on campus. That's
right, but like all the legwork you have to do to like take it to a printer, press up 1,000 pieces.
Oh, you take it to a printer? Nah, fam, that was Kinko's back then.
No. You go right.
Kinko's on Spring Garden.
No. You go right to the printer. Your whatever building you have access to that you can get into like after 6. You go right there. You find your little paper stacks, and I remember my senior year, which was like my 5th, 6th year at the school, when I learned you could. Oh man, I used to burn through their supplies. I had pens, I had staplers. I was taking everything. All my meetings were at conference rooms out on Temple campus. Every hip hop thing I did.
Oh,
I had a hip hop collect back then. I had hip hop society back then. I had a lot of stuff going on there. I had groups and shit.
Consortium.
But back in the CDR era, that's what we was doing too. Go to somebody's office, you know what I mean? Like using a color printer.
Fuck that, like going to the convention center or renting rooms and shit like that.
I was doing the flash discs at Temple. Remember the flash disc?
Yeah.
I was hitting that at Annenberg Hall, boy, putting the sessions on there.
You're still matriculating, burn through your school. You don't realize how much free materials are there until you're almost leaving. Same way. To me, it parallels the same way. The tour is the best on the last 2 or 3 dates, because by then you know all the words of the songs, everything is good. Right when the tour ends is when it's the best, and right when college ends is when you can really milk them and you really learn how to. I mean, my man built his studio. Not my man, but my acquaintance built his studio. He was working in the studio, and he took one piece of equipment a month.
What, from Temple's joint?
This boy is way back in the day, son. They had to revamp the whole thing, and then at the end of both semesters, he taking like one piece a month. He had it was
his last day. He just took like the actual like tape machine. He just like walked out with under his. I'll bring it back tomorrow.
His crib looked like the studio.
No, by the time I got the cameras, they had like all these strict policies for signing things out. You had to put your.
It's because of him.
It was a wild west. This cat. What was that cat's name? Dane. So I knew him. Yo, every month he was coming. Look what I got. You know how to use it? Nah, here's the instruction manual. You look through it. All right,
College was the home of the scams, man.
But anyway, my point.
Ultimate scam.
Yeah, go ahead, laugh.
No, I was gonna say I probably shouldn't even talk about this on recording.
Statute of limitations is over.
He works for a university. That's the problem. He's gonna get canceled out.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
What did you say? This your senior prank was? Anyway,
it was like pure criminality, man. It wasn't even like.
No, I'm saying like my man, he wasn't signing stuff out. He was opening the back door, the back. Somebody pull up to the back, load and dock, throw one piece in there.
Yeah, so his whole studio says property of Temple.
Or spray
with the spray paint joint, with his stencil spray paint. They all spray it.
No, I remember.
I had a friend who stole a master key from an RA, and then over winter break they cleaned out all the dorms.
Wow. That's diabolical.
Yo, speaking of equipment, one time I walked into a music equipment store, and I like literally walked right in, grabbed the DJ mixer, and just walked out.
Nice.
Were you in San Francisco last week doing this? Were you in San Francisco?
Nah, this had to be like, I don't know, like 20 years ago or so. And I just couldn't believe I got away with it. Like I just walked in, grabbed it, and left.
To be there? Like, man, I knew somebody that took when they were changing over computers. That was also a good time. So where they would take all the computers and put them in some storage thing, the old computers, and they start retrofitting the new computers. And if you had a way to get to the door, you literally rolling out that big truck thing that people move in with, that big basket. Big basket that people move in with, that pen and stuff. That thing was filled with computers. We were just rolling that joint out to my man's truck, straight up.
Jesus.
There were some older computers, but they weren't that old. They weren't old enough. Anyway.
I went to college long enough ago that they would send pre-approved credit cards to people.
Send them to you?
Pre-approved.
Send pre-approved. You didn't even have to call up.
Here.
I was there when they had tables.
And then just be like, I never got it.
I never got this.
Yo, that's Columbia House.
Exactly. You move into a different dorm every year. You get like 12 free CDs.
A lot of people got in a lot of debt off that credit card, but they was giving people cards like $1,000 credit.
Oh yeah, I know. I had
free
that
T-shirt
for a long time.
To get all that swag, they stopped doing it.
The free gem bottle, the T-shirt.
When I went to school, all that swag, they were sitting there with the tables. You want a squeeze bottle? You want a wallet? Come get this credit card. Sign up for this credit card. People had 4 or 5 credit cards and stuff. Shit was fucked up. And I talked to them later. They shit was fucked up. You fucking 20 years old, you got $10,000 worth of credit card debt. Like a weirdo. Anyway.
Like a weirdo. You mean like most of America?
Exactly. That's my point.
Get in the game.
All right, let's tell the ladies and the gentlemen and the listeners and the swindlers what they are here for tonight. Tonight we are talking Lineage of Greatness, Notorious. No, I like to call him Biggie Smalls. That's who I met. That's who I started following.
Yeah,
Biggie Smalls. Didn't even know about the copyright thing.
With the white dude.
I just thought he was just doing Notorious. I thought he was just being clever, to be honest with you. Notorious B.I.G, Biggie Smalls, Frank White, Frank M.H. You know what I'm saying?
Phenomenal.
Yes, the phenomenon. We're here to talk about, all things Biggie. As we will. We won't be too long-winded. And we're going to get into it. All right, y'all ready?
Sure.
I've been listening to this shit all day. This has been a great day.
I did another one of my little dabbles. I only listen to a few of my favorites. I got it all in my head. I'm Brooklyn. I'm Brooklyn's own. If anybody don't know, I'm from Brooklyn, born.
Are you
Brooklyn.
wait? Since when?
So we switched.
Are you
We
from
switched.
Brooklyn? I didn't know that. That's
Shut up,
crazy.
motherfucker. You know what it is.
I don't know. You got to verify that. I'm not sure the
Get the hell
listeners
outta
are
here.
aware that you're from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn at? God damn it! Don't make me hurt myself. I'm too old to be screaming
It's
like
out my window.
That's right. That's
Bang.
right. Oh, we did switch. We did switch. Right? Yes, I'm out here. So, all right. First up, what makes Biggie's bars so goddamn good? Like, just as much as you can articulate it. It's not that he was the most technical or the most high-end science guy. You know, it wasn't a verbal thing. It wasn't like a over-your-head thing. It wasn't even in the vein of Rakim per se with a knowledge thing. What made Biggie's bars so good?
Biggie is almost purely intangibles. You know what I mean? Because like he just has like such a perfect flow that he never went against the beat. You know what I mean? You think of technical rappers, and you know, I'm talking about myself when I say this. A lot of it is like on beat, off beat, and like, you know, you're not necessarily thinking about like, how do I just perfectly flow with this? He kind of like pours his flow onto the beat so perfectly. And he's just got like a really strong voice too, right? Like, so it's not about bars with Biggie. Not to say he didn't have bars, but it's not about that. It's about the like experience that you get from like an intangible perspective. And that's why him and Method Man doing a song together at that time was so powerful, because you had two rappers that were like pure intangible rappers.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Straight up.
So
if you could close your eyes and imagine rap, not put it in any type of form or whatever, I feel like it would come close to, like you described, a Biggie and a Method Man song. If it was just smoke forming, you know, if you just using your open mind, you just like, what is hip hop? You know what I'm saying? The only thing I think Biggie, I guess, lacked, if you want to call it, was the look. He didn't look necessarily.
But he didn't need to. He was that cool.
No.
That's what made him special.
Right.
But I'm saying the typical, like Michael Jordan was the prototype basketball size.
Right.
Will
LeBron.
Smith, special ed. You see what I'm saying? Run. I'm just saying, like that prototypical.
Even Nas. Nas just looks like a fucking rapper.
LL Cool J to me. Early LL was like wearing the full uniform.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? B-boy stand. I'm just saying, like, you know, Too Short, cats like that. Kane. Biggie he even stood different. He never stood in a B-boy stance folding his arms or anything like that. He stood regally. He stood like a king. Go ahead, Z.
I've been thinking about this a lot with the lyrics. To me, it's the simplicity, and his simplicity is timeless. So when he says the game sour like a pickle bee, it's timeless. He wrote that when he was 24.
Dated. Right.
It's not like how we talked about Redman last week, where he was talking about, you know, take a stab at it like OJ. Like, nah, bro.
Right. Exactly.
He says like, like even when Biggie says like, money and blood don't mix like two dicks and no bitch. Timeless. You know what I mean? Like, that's just a funny thing to
that's
say.
still true. It's still true.
Says, like,
it's not like something that sticks to the towers.
No,
down.
or he says, you know, like, I'm
although he had those
like,
bars.
He did, but
yes,
like,
he does.
I make it hot like a kettle get, you delicate. Like, that's, or even like, you know, who would ever think that you would spread like mustard? You know what I mean? It's just like, it was so simple to me, but there's a timeless piece to it. But then he would also say like very, very specific things like, you know, your bitch fuck my man Jacob. You know what I mean? Like, my man Jacob, like that's like everybody
that's like a bar that like Common Sense would say. You know how he always has like references to like his
Ghostface.
friends.
Yeah, Ghostface too, or like Raekwon, like, you know.
Raekwon, these anonymous people we don't know anything about.
But he talks about them like we know who they are. You know what I mean? Or even when Biggie says, what's the other part there? He says like, he's like, heard your bitch, she could suck a good dick and hook a steak up. Like, that's the most basic. Your girl can cook steak.
See,
like,
when you say that,
those are important factors.
But Z, when you say that, when you bring that stuff up, these people, they dropping these characters in, and we brought that up in our past like 30 episodes. It's come up somewhat frequently. Always don't forget early hip hop, and even like the nerve system of raps and stuff. It's still conversational.
Sure.
There's still a lot of songs where the artist is almost talking to us, almost even a little back
like
and forth.
your
They'll
rain
do
on the
ad-libs.
top was short like leprechauns.
Yeah,
The most basic, simple thing to say. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying it's conversational. So like he is asking for us to understand. You know what I'm saying? There are things that they're talking to us about. Yo, man,
but
like
there's a lot of specificity in his simplicity, though, too, right? Like they say the best comedians are the ones that make very specific, like they're very specific and more detailed in their stories. Like those are the things that make things stand out. He's very much like that. Like even like a line like "Don't be mad, UPS is hiring."
That's so poignant, though.
It's so perfect.
It still works. People still reference that.
I was in that ass while a man was playing against the Utah Jazz.
Yes.
That's crazy.
She don't know I'm cool as a fan. Like the most basic thing to say. Gat in hand. I don't want to blast.
I don't want to shush your man, but I can and I will.
I will though. Like that's he's
looking kind of ill, yo.
It's he just had that like the simplicity. You're right. It's like there's no. But by being so simple, like Mike was saying, the flow was hyper technical because he's riding everything. I could fill you with real millionaire shit. Escargot, my cargo, 160, swiftly. I can buy you a new run. Your crew run. That's like 4 patterns right there. He just changed
but he never sacrificed the flow for the bar. That is never something you can find in Biggie's catalog anywhere.
He never spilled over the floor. I've never heard him. He doesn't spill like somebody like LP would or A$AP Rocky. Never spill. I'm just saying. I know they're they're abstract a little bit more, but I've never heard Biggie spill over the floor. And that's something that when I admire some MCs that have like little off kilter flows on mine. Sometimes my metronome can't even do it. You know what I'm saying? And so. Like Biggie has that rhythm where his rhythm, he's gonna be locked in. He was probably, he said, these cats, they start rapping when they were 9. They pick it up. And if you ever look at a kid that raps early, I had this one client, he was a classmate of my client, a cat named Sage. He could just rap. He just knew what he was doing. He was 11. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a second.
And his name was Sage. I'm a Puerto Rican kid. And I remember he said, what'd he say? Something like I appear out of nowhere, walk in a room and it's cold there because I left my presidential there, like that. Like his watch is making a room cold or something like that. I don't know, it was like something like that. But I'm just saying. But my point is, it felt like Biggie was a natural earth rhymer, like came out the earth rhyming. Not even exaggeration, like just took to it. Like we know his uncle was a horn player or a drummer. No. It was the neighborhood friend.
The neighborhood dude was the jazz dude, and then his uncles were in Jamaica doing the toasts and doing the dub plates and all that.
Yeah, but he had that one cat lived on his block, played like
so like that dude taught him on a technical level,
right? What to try to do,
which is the super fucking cheat code.
Where to try to fit in, because he's still fitting in. Like Mike said, he never went again. His flow never over dominated the beat, but he found a way to fit.
Yeah. So even somebody like Jay, right? Like who we know for flow, right?
Yeah.
Even he has times where he's not in the pocket in the way that Biggie has always been in the pocket.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
Point.
Right. Yeah.
Biggie has also never been burnt on a track. Any track he's on, he's the alpha.
That's gonna come up.
There's nobody.
When he did Notorious Thugs, that's when I was like, okay, this is like Mike Tyson's 10th knockout in a row, because it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like you knew
it was such a distinct style, and he just made it.
And when I heard about the song, I figured they would do their style on the song, and they would be better at it because they're both thugs. They created their style.
That's their whole thing.
And even though he didn't do exactly their style, he still lorded over them with the track. Sorry, I'm just saying that's
that's the thing. No matter where you put him, he's gonna win. Like even like Mike brought up Jay, and I've been saying this to you guys all week. Like when Jay and Big are on a track together, Jay sounds like an intimidated little brother.
That's coming up.
You know what I'm saying? Like as what's that?
Coming up. That's coming up. That's a second.
Okay, cool.
That's coming up. That's coming up.
So.
All right, let's keep it rocking. Alaska, did you give your explanation? You did.
I mean, I've given plenty of points.
Yeah. So here we go. We jumping right into it. Usually we save this for the end, but we're doing this at the beginning. Favorite verse. Favorite verse, not the SAT. You pick one, pick two. You throw a couple out. Because I know it's hard to pick.
I've been dreading this shit all day, bro. I've been dreading this.
I know it's hard to pick.
I'm gonna start one. I'm just gonna go with Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I knew it. Someone's gonna take Unbelievable. Which verse?
First verse.
Yeah.
Out the gate. Hell
like, so I'm pretty sure I'm younger than all of y'all. So like when Biggie passed, I was like 16. So that means like when I was hearing his records, I was like 13, 14, 15.
Right.
And for me at that point, rappers were still like magicians. Like I didn't understand the idea of like patterns. And it was just like, you hear this and you're just like, this is like the coolest shit. You know what I mean? And anytime I hear Unbelievable, I'm kind of transported to that moment before I understood rap, and it's still like a magical experience. You see what I'm saying? And like when he comes on the track, he's like live from Bedford Stuyvesant. It's like, yeah, that's where we are.
The livest one. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah.
What? So what about? But why Unbelievable compared to all the other verses? Like, is it because it just zaps you back to that time?
Yeah, I think that's more what it is. Because there's other verses that we may even consider to be more lyrical, like Who Shot You, Kicking the Door, things like that. But that's like one of the first times I heard Biggie over Primo. Like, it was just a moment. You know what I'm saying?
Jesus.
And I think that's a lot of it. Like when we think about music, and also like what our connection is to music, like more modern music, we don't have the nostalgia associated with it, right? Like even a song like One More Chance, it was like that summer, was that like 95, 96?
Yeah, that was a big summer.
It was that song. It was that song. It was the Meth and Mary John, and then like probably something off of Cuban Links, like I don't know, Ice Cream or something like that.
Yes.
Every car was playing those three songs.
Running,
you know what I mean? And so
over the summer.
Exactly. And so when you hear a record like that and you just feel like you're 14 again, you can't compete with that with anything. Like any new record isn't going to make you feel that way.
Yes.
That's true.
Damn.
Good point.
All right. I'm going to go. This is really hard, man. I want to say, well, I'm not going to pick this song, but I will say I think Hypnotize is the greatest lyrical performance on a rap single ever made.
Okay.
Like that is a smash song.
That is a bold statement.
I think it is. I've been thinking about it all day. Like that song is in the fucking Spider-Verse. Right?
Honestly, if I never heard that song again, I'd be okay.
But I think the rhyming is so crazy on that song. But the song is so big, we don't look at it as like a rhyming song.
No, I agree. I agree with what you're saying. I mean, I don't agree it's the greatest performance, but I agree that it's what's the word? It's like hidden how technical and interesting it is.
Right. That's what I'm getting at. Right. Like that, like for on a big, huge giant, that was a big song the first day it ever came out.
So let me echo your sentiment on that before you even get into the verse, because that's what I was gonna pick. Just one verse on Hypnotize, because I didn't like this song when it first came. I was
taping that off Power 99 on a cassette, like running.
But you got to remember the context at that point.
Let me get this fill out. So look, check it. So we'll talk about it. We got Ready to Die, very hip hop record.
Sure.
Compared to Life After Death.
Sure.
There's Unbelievable and Juicy and stuff, but there's a lot of like pure hip hop elements in there, scratching, you know what I'm saying, the three verses, the hooks and stuff. Right. Like there's a lot of formulaic hip hop stuff on that first record that people kind of forget because we get into the cinema of Life After Death. That's like a movie. Like for people that talk about, oh, my raps are a movie, they really made a movie. When you listen to that and like good headphones,
warning,
like the first song, Things Done Changed. There's all the sound effects going on in the right channel. And that's like Puffy saying, like, look, I want real, and I could see him. I said, I want a real ambulance siren. Don't go and get no stock sounds. Get a motherfucker
go outside.
Go outside and grab the siren and rip it off the truck and bring it in. I'm pretty sure there's like real violence. So my point is, I did not like Hypnotize. I knew where they were going, and like they did Juicy and Unbelievable, but I was ready. Who Shot Your Head dropped? He was doing like some real. I was ready, and that was the first song you gave to me. Him running after scenes in the
that's
video.
what I'm saying. Think about the context, because by the time them records was dropping, you know, we had like OGC had Diss Biggie and like there was like this bifurcation in hip hop where it was like, all right, you're on the real hip hop side or you're on the jiggy side. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. And so I remember being overwhelmed when I listened to the song just the third time. And I said, oh my God. Oh my God. I just like
note to the plaintiff, your daughter's tied up in a Brooklyn basement. That's some wild shit to say on a club song. That's wild. That's wild.
Yeah. I mean, he was still sneaking in some of them like dead wrong bars in there. Yes. You know what I mean?
So my actual verse though, after a lot of thinking, is Player's Anthem. How you living, Biggie Smalls? I'm surrounded by criminals, heavy rollers, even the shiesty
I love that song.
Skunkin' Man Phillies beating down Billy Badasses, cracks and stacks and mass. If robbery's a class, bet I passed it. That type of shit.
My other choice was gonna be the Get Money remix. He lit that one up too.
Oh, nice.
That's Big Papa Keys and Tijuana. Oh my God! Like but you can't even like read this shit without doing his verse. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like
just the way
his flow is so distinct.
All day, every day. I don't know what else to say. Come on, man. I've been robbing fools and running them with singing. Here we go. Snatching ropes at the Roxy, homeboy. You didn't know? A flow detrimental to your health. Usually rope for self having sunrise shotgun. Here's the cool part real quick. Right there. That part. He is the only dude to talk about lyrics and like spitting without being corny as fuck. My mind's my 9, my pen's my Mac 10, my target, all you whack brothers just started rapping. Like, everyone makes fun of the lyrical spiritual dudes. He would do that shit.
He did. He said lyrical whatever, and it's like, okay, it's Biggie.
He got a pass being that. You know what I mean? Like, like I don't know how, but he was so cool. It was just in there, and then he would take you back to like, what to say, like, caviar for breakfast, champagne bubble bath. Like, he takes you into it, then gets right the fuck out. On the lyrical shit, but he was
but the one thing that's really good about him is he was always very concise. You know what I mean? He wasn't giving us dissertations like Cannabis. Like he was
he was
getting great imagery in like real small spaces. Like you just said, caviar for breakfast, champagne bubble bath. Like that makes you think like, the Scarface scene in the tub and all of that. Like it's very clear from 4 words.
Yes.
Exactly. That's Alaska. What you got, brother?
Man. I mean, I think like the verse that I always think of the Big is the first verse of Juicy. That verse is just brilliant.
Almost perfect.
One that like kind of like really sticks with me is on the Only You remix.
Oh, I was thinking of that one. Jesus.
That shit is so dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes me back to high school dances right there.
Yeah, his R&B shit's always killed.
I bought that CD single at Circuit City.
I love the alliteration.
The thin case with him and Mace.
Oh, the CD single.
Come on, you want to. Come on, you want to. Buddy, I'm afraid. Like, him and I wish he and Mace could have worked together more because they were fucking dynamite, man. Like in terms of the R&B shit. And then flexing on the jiggy shit. But why did you pick that though? Out of all the fucking rhymes,
I just like the flow of it, man. I like the shit where he's just like Malibu sea breeze, Dom P's, palm trees, cats named Pablo, milked out Diablos.
Bro.
Again,
the williest bitches be the silliest.
But no, let's go back to that.
The more I smoke, the smaller the Philly gets.
Really good.
Like he gave you so much in like 4 bars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what I love about Juicy. Like the first 4 bars sets up the whole scene of his career. Like from there on, you know who you're dealing with. And it's like, to me, it's like Biggie is the first like pop rapper that actually was able to do it without being a sellout or being considered a sellout.
100%.
Like he created perfect pop music, but did it through hip hop.
And did it through gritted teeth. He didn't even want to do it. He didn't even want to do those joints.
He didn't want to do it. He just did it. And it's like nobody's been able to do it the way that he's done.
That sense, no.
Yeah.
No, everything else has been like a very like for example, like Jay, when Jay did Hard Knock Life, right, his 3rd album, like the amount of time and effort, he was probably like 29, 30 when that dropped.
Mm-hmm.
Like Biggie was like 22 making Juicy, 23 making Get Money remix. Like he was just effortless in a way to make these songs. Like Mike said, One More Chance remixed. I mean, that was fucking bigger than anything on the actual album.
Yeah.
Big Papa, which is huge.
Yeah.
Like these are massive songs, and they just kind of rolled off of him. Whereas Jay was like, the first album probably did, I don't know, 300,000. Cool.
No.
The second one,
Sunshine,
yeah. Which I love the second album a lot. Like I really love it, but it takes him to get to his third album to even be on the level of like Biggie's old shit. You know what I mean? Like that's how advanced this fucking guy was. So yeah.
Like Parties and Bullshit was incredible, and that was a B-side.
Yeah.
That just took off. Like these were songs that had lives of their own.
So all right, so like guest verses on like the Supercat single before his album.
So
that song was weird.
I'm about to flip it on you. It is weird. The cat.
But you didn't like Third Eye?
Your man, Third Eye.
When Puffy was rapping like Onyx.
Oh my god, with like no facial hair. Oh, he looked crazy.
I got one for y'all because
what's your verse? I'm sorry. You picked Hypnotize?
So at first I was gonna pick Who Shot You. Then I was gonna go with Hypnotize because your heartbeat
sounded like Sasquatch feet. Come on, bro.
I can hear sweat trickling down your cheek. Do you know how a tune you have to be to hear sweat trickling down?
Or it's gotta be a lot of it.
Yeah. Or it's just like it's the fact where it's musical and I can put it in my rap. But I really was taken aback by I went from construction Timbs to Axe with Rims, flipping mixtapes. The bitches feeding me grapes, feeding mind state. Big Papa flow is lethal. That weed make my ass want to kill 4 people. Fuck the game, give me the dame in the range. My nigga up to pawn, drop top Jaguars. I'll blow you when you step in the car. That's that superstar status apparatus. More wigs to cashes. C's, roll the hashes. In the pocket with the 9. Roll up the whole dime as my seats recline. I want a presidential rollie, so I crush MCs, the guacamole, making Robin scream, holy moly.
The points.
Papa, fuck a cape, I'm that paper crusader, playing Sega in the wide body blazer. That's the point.
The points, bro.
Points, yo. That shit is crazy. I was like, oh.
Dude, he had me stuck off that when he said I went from mixtapes to bitches feeding me grapes. That's it. You win. You are a Roman emperor.
Like jumping on something like that with Coolio's on it.
Yeah, Redman, all them Panther soundtrack.
Like, crazy, yeah. So
he fucking kills everybody.
But I was so into the Panthers, I couldn't believe that Biggie made a song even referencing them. He didn't mention the Panthers at all in his rap whatsoever. He's totally off topic, but it's still the greatest thing. And,
Crushing the guacamole.
That was so common back then. You know what I mean? Like you would have a rapper on an R&B song that would just like kick a battle verse. You know what I mean? Like, it has nothing to do with the song.
And make it work. All right. Let's do one more topic and then we'll hit a quick break. But just really quick, not quick, but however you want. Which of his albums do you prefer over the other?
Ready to Die.
Life After Death.
Ready to Die?
Yeah.
Is he Life After Death, Lasker?
Yeah, I think Life After Death. It was Ready to Die for the longest, but Life After Death has been hitting me more lately.
I would agree with you with that. Because Ready to Die was such a Brooklyn experience to me. Was that 94?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. So I'm still home, and like I'm playing Machine Gun Funk on my CD play. I'm walking around Brooklyn with Biggie bumping, Biggie coming out of cars, as Mike alluded to. You know what I'm saying? It was definitely a car audible culture where you be influenced by not just cars, but like people on the first floor with their window open. They put the speaker in the window. And so Ready to Die was very much me in Brooklyn. Life After Death dropped. I was like in college, 2 years in. I can tell y'all a story about me and my friends had gotten our hands on Life After Death 2 weeks before it dropped. And we were trying to figure out what to do with it. We had a friend on campus whose cousin worked for a magazine. So they had Life After Death, and we say, yo, can we just hold it? Let us hold it, right? So she let us hold it. She didn't know what we was gonna do. What we did was we went to everybody we knew. This is the 90s, y'all, so bear with me. We went to everybody we knew with a double tape deck. Everybody had a double tape deck, right? We had a whole array on a whole wall in one of the dorms of like 20 double tape decks. We went out and bought like 50 tapes. We put Ready to Die on one tape. We put Life After Death, both discs on another tape. Taped the tapes together. They open out like this. And we were selling them shits by lunchtime the next day. for like 10 a pop, 15 a pop.
Professional bootleg over here.
Scamming,
Yo,
man.
we had a whole system going. The girls that was fucking with us and just liked us, they were working on the labels. We was up all night. We took shifts. I did a 2-hour shift. I go to sleep. My man do a 2-hour shift because you had to flip the tapes.
Yeah,
and it was so ill. So we had to so line up. At one point, it would go like all the tapes would stop right at the same time. You flip them, and you just sit there and wait for it to record because you got to record it.
Yeah,
I think you could record
real
dub
time.
speed. No, dub speed. Like a dub speed.
Yeah.
A little faster, but
let me find out.
Double speed recording.
Let me find out you started disc makers in your dorm.
Yo, this was like 94, so we got in trouble though because one teacher came out here and was like, "You have a permit to do this?" We had a boombox
permit.
We had a boombox in the hallway leading to the
Do you have legal counsel to do this?
Yeah, I know. Like, we had a boombox. We were standing in the hallway where everybody comes through to go to eat. So lunchtime, we just posted up playing Biggie, and it was like, "What's that? That's the new Biggie?" He was like, "Yo, come over here." We said like, "Yo, you want to know? Come over here, right?"
Oh,
and we was so geeked. Let me tell you how stupid we was. We were so geeked from how much money we made at lunchtime. We just gave Shorty $100 bill. We was like, "We're doing great. We're gonna kill at dinner." Dinner is when the teacher came, tapped me on the shoulder. "You have a permit for this? What are y'all doing here?"
Permit.
We had to break
bootleg tapes. Yep, here's my permit from City Hall. Here it is.
Somebody took the card. Somebody took the boombox. Ran in different directions. And we had to break out. We ended up going into the high-rise dorms. We had like these high-rise dorms at Temple, like 10, 15 floors, selling the tapes for discount $5 a pop. Because at that point, we lost all the momentum we had. By that time, we was losing the lust of having the Biggie album more early and stuff. People had started.
Yeah, people was probably dubbing your tape. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. People giving tapes to each other. So we needed to maximize that day, get that lunch and dinner. But we did lunch. But also, what else happened was a person came wandering over from the hospital because she started the band on, and she got into it with one of my friends, and he smacked her with a stapler, and he had to go on a run for like a few days. Because she was like, the cops came and everything. All right, so it got even worse than just the teacher telling us.
So this is why you choose life after death or ready to die.
Because I had this experience. Yeah. So we almost got in trouble and arrested. Like all these cops pulled up looking for him because the lady was kind of beat up pretty bad with the stapler.
He beat up a hospital patient.
Yeah, seriously, he did. He really did. She
literally
just got.
I think the moral of the story is for everything we've said is everyone's just a complete piece of shit in college. I think that's for all of our experiences.
All scams.
Any scam will do. Beating up fucking people, whatever it's gonna do. Stealing.
But that wholesale, I remember the serotonin, what's the thing that you get when you get a text message? Serotonin. Yo, it was raging. We were so giddy at lunchtime, Alaska. We was the happiest motherfuckers in that car because this is the 90s.
Stealing from a dead man. You guys got a good rush out of that.
You went to college a little later than me, Z. In the 90s, ain't nobody had no money. No, everybody was trying to scrounge up $10 to $20.
I went to college in the 2000. What were we fucking caked out? What are you talking about? We didn't have shit.
No, but by then, y'all go to campus, y'all get a job on campus immediately. You know what I'm saying? Y'all were figuring out stuff quicker than us.
Because I had a job.
Some of us were dead broke.
Yeah,
I was selling CDs on campus. That's what I was doing.
So what I'm saying is, this is the
winning battles.
Mike, this is back in the day when Maj Toure was selling CDs on the train.
Wow.
You don't remember Maj? You don't remember Maj?
No, I remember.
You remember? Yeah, Mike, you remember?
That's crazy.
So anyway, the fact that we were able to get $10, $20 out of people was like a miracle because people didn't have $20, on any given day. So, but I remember that
after death. There you go.
Yeah, we was cracking, but
not because of the art, the music, songs.
No.
Evolution of man, he passed prematurely.
Put food on the table, goddammit.
Thank you, Alaska.
No, but I think it's the same thing.
Through lunch.
I think it's the same thing I was saying before. It's like he has such a big experience with that record. You know what I mean? And like listening to those records transports him to that experience. And so again, by the time Life After Death came out, I was like, okay, there's some dope records on here, but like, yo, this is that sellout music. Like this is, you know what I mean? More money, more problems. Like that was the song where we were talking about shiny suits and shit.
Oh yeah. And I think this was like my, like I wasn't even a fan of Cobain, I was aware, but this was like my Cobain moment. I'm from Brooklyn for a cat that passes and then they drop his album.
Right.
Get into this whole posthumous thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I have very strong feelings about that. Specifically because of how Biggie was handled with some grace, at least with that album at that point in time. So I have a real big problem with like all of the extra Tupac albums and even that Biggie song that dropped like 2 weeks ago, whatever. Like you have to do it with it. You have to do it a lot. There has to be a lot more grace with it. But this is my first experience with like an artist I like dying early and the music still living on.
Well,
you know, because I wasn't a fan of Tupac.
Okay.
Yeah, me neither.
No.
Got you.
I like Tupac strictly for my niggas. And then when he went to jail and came back, I didn't like all the Death Row stuff. I wasn't a fan.
Okay.
So when he came out of jail and right when he made that twist, even like All Eyes on Me and all, like I wasn't feeling none of that stuff really.
Bet.
So Biggie was my first experience with that idolatry of an artist that passes away, and so it didn't enhance the stuff for me. Life After Death was such a monumental achievement. I thought it was a perfect album when I first heard it. Right. Like again, it was so cinematic, and I was such a headphone kid back then that I would just put my headphones on, and that's an album you can really just zone out to, just because of the extra sound effects and the sequencing and
what
like
Life After Death or Ready?
Yeah, Life After
Okay.
Death. Ready to Die. I told you I was bopping around Brooklyn, New York with that shit. Life After Death.
Yeah, I think Ready to Die is like a very, very specific experience of a person from dire circumstances, and then Life After Death is like, okay, I'm still here, I'm on top of everything. Here's the things what happens when you get everything you want. You know, like the jealousy, the paranoia,
the negativity of opulence.
Right, but then there's also like Mike said, like I can also work with anybody I want, and I could wear everyone's style like a coat and run around with it, whether it's Bone Thugs, whether it's Premier again, the joints with Kim, R. Kelly. He crushes every style, like even doing the friggin' PSK School ED shit.
God.
You know what I mean? Like him doing that, singing Player Haters, like singing. It was like a doorway for him to
I never
indulge.
Liked that song.
Yeah, me neither. But it's like it's kind of cool in the throw of a record, but like you don't go to it.
Yeah, I'm never gonna be like, yo, put on Player Hater.
Right. You know what I mean? You've been robbed. But it's like he was able to indulge all of his interests and his fantasies while also having songs like, you know, like Long Kiss Goodnight, You're Nobody Till Somebody Kills You, What's Beef. So there was kind of like this, like the action part of the thing, but also being like, but here's all the down, like Mo Money, Mo Problems. Like here's all the downsides. Like it comes at a cost, and ultimately he paid the ultimate cost. But it's like I think Life After Death. But see, I like the jiggier moments because to me he's like the king of it. He can, like we all said, he was making the biggest songs while still out rhyming everybody in the world.
I mean, in hindsight, Mo Money, Mo Problems is an amazing song. Like when I hear it now, I'm like, yo, this is amazing. Like why was I ever not liking this song? You know what I'm saying?
We had so many problems back then. Yeah. All right, yo, let's hit a quick break, and then we can come back and get to the next bullet point. We are Call Out Culture, talking Lineage of Greatness, Biggie Smalls. We'll be right back.
Germicide and The Expert present their new psychedelic hip-hop album, The Overview Effect. Think Marvin Gaye meets Edon. If you like tripped out sounds, sinister strings, fuzz guitars, and heavy drums with social content, then this album is for you. Featuring the new singles For the Money, Black Tears, and A Little Love. Guest appearances on the album come from Stick Figure, Farrah Ale, and Tanya Morgan. Available on vinyl and all digital platforms with a special Bandcamp exclusive vinyl that comes with liner notes, a custom art print, plus the album instrumentals. Visit theexpert.bandcamp.com now.
All right. Shablow. Shababy. We are back. Call Out Culture, Lineage of Greatness, Biggie Smalls, featuring my brother, Mike King. All right, so we're going to get into one of the things that actually is attributed to Biggie, but it was done pretty much after his reign by one of his consigliaries, because he was definitely an underboss to Biggie. Jay-Z has a famous line where he injects himself into this conversation that none of us were ever having.
I'm from the niggas, pull your card and argue all day about who's the best MCs, Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas.
And
he just, many people are saying Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas.
He trumped it.
And the funny thing is, we weren't even comparing Nas and Biggie. People had their stations, and there would be kind of general conversations, but I remember back then, the top MC, it was a bigger conversation because it wasn't just a King of New York conversation.
Right.
So Jay-Z writes this line and spits it out and injects himself into the conversation that probably only fit for Nas and Biggie and maybe even Lil Rakim
or Raekwon
at that time.
Even at that time.
Or maybe Lil
whoever.
KRS-One.
Someone in Wu.
I'm just saying KRS-One. Yeah, somebody in Wu.
Yeah.
So Alaska.
Nobody ever said Jay-Z in that conversation until like 2002.
Right.
Right. So he wasn't even viable. In the 90s, he was rapping with Jazzo fast as shit. So
yeah, he was on like I want to say
Alaska,
Future
tell
Sound.
us what you think. Tell us what you think about this line, Alaska.
Yeah, this line always annoyed the shit out of me, but it turned out to be a brilliant marketing scheme.
You did.
It's like he created a narrative for himself that nobody in the world was talking about. I have hats, trucker hats that pop up in my Twitter timeline or my Instagram timeline that say Jay-Z, Biggie, and Nas.
Ew.
Crazy.
I'm like, people are still fucking making money off of that shit.
Well,
like,
to be fair, Puffy did the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, all right, respectfully, Biggie died, and then Puffy like climbed the mountain, was like, Biggie's the best. And then everybody was like, hey,
True.
we miss him. Yeah, he is the best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's no
he did
different.
benefit from, not if you can call it that, but you know, when you pass away and people look at your stuff with a certain reverence. But that line is so funny to me, Alaska, because nobody I knew was having that conversation in any shape or form with those three individuals.
Never heard anybody have that.
And especially
let alone talk about it all day.
Yeah, definitely not then.
At that moment, I would say like AZ had a better chance than Jay-Z.
Well, Prodigy was better than Jay-Z.
Prodigy, hands down.
I'm just
way
saying, like,
fucking Jay-Z.
Look, MOP might have had a high.
Hold on. We're saying Prodigy at that time was better than Reasonable Doubt Jay-Z?
Yes, without a question.
Really?
Yeah. Dude, 96 Hell on Earth Prodigy?
Yeah.
Prodigy was great, but better than Reasonable Doubt Jay-Z?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's all right.
This is a very Prodigy-friendly zone here, Mike.
No, there's a lot of great bars on that album.
Dog,
I think that's a future show.
That's a good one.
That sounds like that's a good one.
P is.
No, I love Prodigy. Prodigy's amazing, but not better than Jay-Z.
I could never go there with you. And I love Reasonable Doubt more than most people on this show, but I could never put him over P at that era.
That's
I can't.
fine.
Later on, definitely. There's a detachment moment with me and P, probably like 03-ish, like after H&I see him before Return of the Mac. That whole run, I was like, I checked out on Prodigy. I was like, nope, he's done, he's finished, he's totally done, and I was J'd out. But I think like that. For that run, I can never say Jay was better than P, but I think that was an ill way because Jay has always been about branding and marketing in a way where, and like you said about like Puffy, who was the undisputed best rapper before Biggie died? Like, who did people say Rakim, right?
Rakim,
yeah.
Or KRS potentially, or Kane.
No, it was Rakim.
It was Rakim, right? Without a question.
That was hands down. We all agreed on that.
It was right. So then. So I feel like after Biggie died, it was, in the moment, the emotions of it, 2 albums, all the, what could have been, the commercial success. I feel like when Pun died also, there was
he got a big boost from
boost, even though his second album's not very good.
Yeah,
sadly.
he dropped the dud with his second record.
But because they started talking about the lyricism of Pun. After he passed,
it elevated like the dead in the middle of Little Italy.
Like the best Puerto Rican lyricist like ever type thing was going on. And then they started putting him with the greatest MCs pantheon. But I
can't.
I'll put it like this.
And I love Pun so much.
Pun's 2 records fall short in terms of qualifying him, whereas I believe Biggie's records qualify him to put him in there. And that's an argument. People get on that about 2 records, is that enough and all that stuff? But I think the expertise that was executed at Bad Boy to complete those 2 LPs.
But he also gets to me credit for the Junior Mafia album. That's all him. And then the Kim shit.
Lil Kim's album.
Like that's like a 3-year run of just everything he touches is smash on top of
that Death Row shit.
On top of the cameos, like Alaska said, and then even like the mixtape shit, like On the Road to Riches.
I don't think that's enough.
You don't think it's enough? What's your criteria? I'm not saying I don't think he's the number one ever, but what is your criteria, Mike? Or like an all-timer, dude.
Like I don't know what my criteria is, but I just know 2 albums isn't enough, right? Like, because imagine Nas died after it was written. What would we be saying about Nas?
Oh, he's a king.
Right. You'd be saying he's the hands down best rapper ever. Right. But then we have I Am and the other not great records. You know what I mean? So like we don't know what was gonna happen with Biggie. And that's part of the allure. You're like, okay, he went out at such a high point,
right?
But he could have fallen off for a while too, just like Nas did.
Yep.
That brings me to our next bullet point. Where do you think Biggie would be in the pantheon if he was still around right now?
He would have made some whack albums at some point. Like guaranteed.
I mean, I feel like hip hop went through a phase of like kind of just being whack. You know what I mean? So like he wasn't immune to that.
No. Would he age gracefully? Would he be the 40, 50-year-old MC that we're seeing today? Would he be doing well in that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Because I think Jay-Z being on top extended the half-life for a rapper. You know what I mean? Like, because he turned it into this thing where I can become a billionaire. I can diversify in a variety of ways.
Right.
And he also embraced technology very quickly. Like, he's just a smart guy, right? So if Biggie would have been, like, if he would have stayed in the shadow of Biggie, could he have achieved that? And then
probably not in that form.
Right. And could rap have evolved in the way it did if Biggie was still the guy?
Because you're saying because of getting in the way of what Jay-Z was able to do with rap.
Right.
Would we have somebody else have done those things, or would Biggie have done that? Yeah,
right.
Very interesting. Very interesting question.
So it's too many variables to really like project it from my perspective.
Well, also at that time, nobody was having long careers, right? Like
the
longest career was like KRS, and even like Rakim. Like by that time, Rakim was trying to sound like Nas.
Right, he was doing 18
which
letters.
was
I think
kind
at
of
that
like a
point,
bad look.
Maybe LL and Run DMC had the longest.
LL had like that resurgence around that time with Mr. Smith.
I'm just saying, just being, I'm just saying, just still being an artist.
The majority of rappers didn't make the best 2 or 3 records.
Right. Yeah. None of them stayed on top as long as Jay.
Right. Good point. Great point.
I think Biggie, he would have had like the personality and the wit and the charm. I think that's what would age him the best, because that's, we said before, like, because he looked the way he looked and he was a sex symbol inadvertently, and he owned that, black and ugly as ever. He'd always talk about his lazy eye. He could fit on so many styles of records in a short period of time.
He would have been a couple of tiers down in terms of Snoop's sprawl. Like, I think he would have became a personality. He might not have been with Martha Stewart and cooking shows and stuff, but he would have been like right below Snoop in terms of like everybody in the world knows who the hell.
I think he's very lovable. You know what I mean? Right. Like, and I think if he were to age, I feel like your mother or your aunt or your wife, if they didn't know the records I think they would grow to like him a lot, because he was also highly intelligent. You know what I mean? Like Ice-T. I don't know if maybe he'd be an actor. I'm not sure. But
Ice-T acting did a lot.
Yeah, like way more than his rapping was that.
I think he would have probably had a falling out with Puff at some point.
Definitely.
Almost that was
everyone else did.
Everyone else did, and how would that have impacted his music? I don't care what anybody says. Like Puff's, a lot of that shit is Puff's vision.
Yes, very good, very point.
Like, so how would that have impacted what he was doing? Would he have made like a whack No Limit record like Snoop did?
They're actually good.
No Limit records.
They're actually good when I revisit
them.
I will never believe that.
The Game Is to Be Sold is fire. I hated that.
A lot of people feel that way.
Listen to the Dog Father to get you like your stomach bubbling, and then go listen to the No Limit ones. You're like, oh wow,
the No Limit joints
very much a primitive.
Yeah, I hated that Beats by the. I hated all that shit. I played it months back. I was stunned because No Limit Top Dog was cool. But the first one, the Game Is to Be Sold. Yeah, Dog Father.
As trash as it was the day it first dropped, and then it made me. But then No Limit, I didn't like No Limit, so I was like, look, I was hesitant, and then I was like, oh wait a minute, there's a lot of good songs on it.
You know what I just thought of too, to tie in what Mike said about Jay-Z. Jay would have been his second in command in the Commission.
Yeah, we would have got the Commission record.
We would have got that.
Who's the third?
Cam,
Charlie
Baltimore, and Jay, and that was their answer to the firm. But I think he was.
I need a sidebar. I feel like if the firm record was good, it would have changed the trajectory of hip hop.
Yo, I'm a firm day. Like I have my own playlist I make of the firm, my version of the album, plus all the mixtape joints I did with Clue, which are fucking crazy.
Think about. This is a good point. Think about the firm album, even though those are all known rappers, doing for them as a group what like Run the Jewels did for like Mike and L.
But the problem with the firm was that it was literally designed to get everybody around Steve Stout and Trackmaster's summer homes. It wasn't like a thing. It was like Steve Stout's like, oh, I managed this guy. Oh, like she's cool. Oh, I managed Trackmasters. Oh, like let's just make this thing. So when you hear the mixtapes, they're really just hanging out and having fun and rhyming on like 80s block party shit. The album's like, okay, we got to get like Dre and like Kurt Gowdy and like Nori's in it, but then Cannabis is in it, but like $500,000 and like Pretty Boy. Whereas I think the Commission was like, Big loved Cam. Clearly
you think Cam would have been in Commission?
He was, yeah. Cam wrote fucking Crush on You. Right? And that was and Biggie studied Puffy was like, oh, I'm gonna start my own label. I have Junior Mafia, Kim, Undius. Undius signed Cameron and signed Charlie Baltimore. And that was his deal with the dude with Un. That was gonna be Biggie and Un's label. So they're gonna put out Cam and Charlie Baltimore and do the Commission shit. And Rockefeller was its own entity. They were just partnering with Payday Records and Def Jam later. So it's not like Jay was. My point is, it didn't seem like a way to balance everybody's portfolio. It felt like clearly Jay and Biggie had chemistry, and then Biggie loved Cam, and obviously loved Charlie Baltimore in multiple ways to bring her in the fold. But he was doing his own thing that he saw Puff doing to him. Like you said, Alaska, like seeing what Puffy was doing to Craig Mack and fucking Total and 112 and Mace and everybody else. Like, oh, kind of like how Michael Bivins and like he's like, oh, the way we were getting fucked in New Edition, I'm gonna go fuck, all these fucking boys
hurt people.
Yeah, like the East Coast Family and other bad creation. I'm gonna make money off these 12-year-olds, even though I'm 24.
I got another sidebar for you. So in the East Coast Family, they had this group.
Sudden Impact.
No, they were called 1010, and they were twins. And I went to elementary school with these dudes. They were from Philly. Yeah, and I don't know, like I don't think they were on any song except for that big East Coast Family song.
We Are Fat. What the fuck is it called? Like the Big Posse cut joint?
That joint was crazy.
I just remember the white dudes, Sudden Impact. It was all white dudes. Like they all like turn around in like an R&B group wearing like fucking like prom suits and shit with a bottle cap haircut, which I had. Yeah. Castro, what's the next Biggie point? I'm sorry, we're getting derailed.
Vibe ain't my motherfucking boy. All right. So when I think about the East Coast versus West Coast conflict, the Vibe cover is always popping in my head. So the question is, how much did the East versus West war contribute to his death, and was it avoidable?
It was completely avoidable. And I think one of the through lines that we're talking about today is this idea of the power of media at this time, because it's like pre-internet, right? Like, so someone like Puff can be like, Biggie's the best. Everyone agrees, because like that's the message you hear from everywhere, right? And by that same token, Vibe was like, there's an East Coast West Coast beef. And as you hear interviews now, when people talk about that time, like I saw Tretch on Math Show recently, and he was like, we didn't know anything about this.
Nobody in the industry said a word about that.
Exactly.
I don't remember. It wasn't a lyric. It wasn't a quote.
Exactly.
It wasn't a sidebar on a video show. Nobody that was an actual artist had ever said those words.
Exactly.
That premise
so
together.
it was effectively propaganda created by someone at Vibe that got two great rappers killed.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
I think also, do you guys remember that? You ever seen like the it was in the Spike Jonze Criterion collection, like DVD from 15 years ago, when they would put all get like those DVDs of all the best music videos. And Spike Jonze did the What's Up Fat Lip joint. Remember that?
Yeah.
Right. And then there was like a bonus thing where he's just rolling around with Fat Lip, has the camera running while they're just filming shit, right? And Fat Lip was talking about how insecure he was in Farside at the time, because he was like, who the fuck are we? We're just a bunch of nerdy fucking black dudes from the West Coast. He's like, we thought everything he said was real. We were like, he's got all the bitches, he's a pimp, he's the biggest drug dealer, he's the biggest killer, everything he wears is luxury. Like, we were like, who the fuck are we except some jokers? And Fat Lip was feeling like very inadequate in the industry, being like, we got to be more like that, and that's impossible. How the fuck are we going to make it? And so, like, he really did, because there was no internet and because there wasn't reality shows either, we couldn't see that, oh, actually, like, he wakes up and, like, looks like shit in the morning and, like, spills fucking coffee on his shirt and, you know, has bad relationships with women and gets played out by people and then owes people money. And, you know, like how Joe Budden and, like, Jim Jones and all these people look on reality shows like, oh, they're just like me. I feel like we were all hoodwinked, where he was on record so good at showing off a certain persona when we know, like, he was a fucking overweight nerd in Brooklyn. He was good in school. Like, this motherfucker was smart, but he couldn't be an overweight, really smart, good student and survive in the 80s, 70s, and 80s. So, you know, he had to, like, he you know, started doing dirt and shit, but I feel like a lot of it was a survival mode to be in with people rather than get fucked up and, you know, bullied. And so when he became a rapper, he was so good at it. And whereas, like, Tupac was like a literal actor. Like, Tupac was a thespian.
Dancer. Yeah.
He was a dancer. He was a fucking ballet dude, poet who played the role of this gangster who had revolutionary intent. But when he's rolling with, like, what was that dude from
Underground?
Yeah, but then even after Haitian Jack, like, when you're rolling with Haitian Jack and that type of shit,
the worst thing he ever did.
You know,
he seemed like he was courting death, though. Biggie never did.
Right, that's what I'm getting at. Like, Biggie did it, I feel like, as a defense mechanism just for survival, but and he was around it every day. I'm not saying like he lived in the suburbs, but I feel like he got caught in that web that, you know, remember Tupac? He said he confronted him. Tupac said, "I'm just trying to sell some records," by saying, "I fucked your bitch," and, you know, the whole thing. Like, Pac was on that razor's edge, whereas, like, Biggie got caught, like, literally in the crossfire. But I feel like Vibe, all of them had a part to play, except, you know, Biggie, like we're saying, he wasn't thinking like, oh, if I say I'm gonna fuck Tupac's wife, I'm gonna sell an extra 2 million. Like, he wasn't in tune with manipulating the press for controversy. You know what I mean? Like, the way Pac was, the way the media was, like Mike was saying, like, oh, this could be crazy if we said the New York hates LA. Like, what?
But one caveat I want to put there is I think Puff always understood that. Right? Like, because you heard the story how recently it came out that the whole "let the locks go" was his idea.
Yep.
I mean, I feel like he always understood the power that he wielded, and he was able to, like, put the right messages out there to help Bad Boy grow. So I don't think it would, like, maybe Biggie wasn't actively involved in this, but I suspect that there was a hand in that from the Bad Boy side to, like, figure out how can we use this to our benefit.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if both Puff and Suge
had talked about
were involved together.
Oh, that's so
like
disgusting.
The conspiracy theorist to me, but, like, you know, that them both seeing the value in this.
Yes.
You know, whether they thought it would come to this, but then having some impact in it. But you got to look at, like, the media at that time too, because this was like what, 95, 96?
Yeah.
Like, even, like, you know, like the Atlanta Olympics bombing dude, right? Richard Jewell was just a fucking bum off the street. That they destroyed that dude's life because they didn't care. They knew, like, CNN knew ratings would be there, and the media knew ratings would be there. They literally tried this dude in the jury. I mean, tried this dude in the media,
right?
And the media does the same type of shit back then. They still do it.
Yeah, and the difference is, like, we all consume the same exact media at that time. It's not like now where it's completely splintered. So Vibe, The Source, XXL had like a very strong voice in what we believed about what was going on.
Yeah.
So like me as a kid reading this, I'm like, oh shit, we're in an East Coast West Coast war. I can't be cool with my West Coast friends anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, because like that's just like what you believe about hip hop at that time.
No, people started playing the roles. Radio stations stopped playing into music like really strictly. I remember there's a lot of New York stations. You didn't have no death row artists in New York at that time. Like
except for Tupac. Tupac was still getting played.
I remember in Philly they were playing California Love still.
Yeah, California.
It was just so undeniable.
No Snoop, no Dre. Like, I'm just saying,
Snoop wasn't making good records anymore too. That's like Dogfather.
Yeah, but that one record that he had with Tupac, the American.
I love that song.
So much.
A gangster.
So much burn.
Picture perfect. I painted a perfect picture. Oh, I love that shit.
No, really, like truthfully, they were not rocking with any West Coast artists whatsoever. It's not happening.
Yeah, somebody in Wu said that it may have been in Ray's book about when they went out to L.A. to do.
It was about that song. It was about that song that Meth is on. Meth and Red is on the
All Eyes on Me
record.
Yeah, because originally Deck is on that record. Yeah,
because they did that with Daz. They were just like hanging out, and it was like, and someone else is on there too. Besides, there's one more person, Rage, right? And then they just, that's crazy. Meth is like.
You can still hear Inspector
that's the Rebel. Yeah, that's on YouTube. His version.
Yeah, Meth was cool with everybody.
Smartest.
Oh, Tupac was also cool with Boot Camp.
Yep.
Oh yeah, the One Nation shit.
Yes, he was. They were going to do that One Nation record.
Yeah, and he was best friends with Tretch.
Yeah,
he was MC New York.
Yeah, that's so wild. But yeah, I think definitively the answer to this is that it could have been avoided, and it was largely a function of what the media did.
Yeah, and I mean, there's little details about should Biggie have gone to the West Coast or should he have gone overseas? And those things were on the plate at the same time.
But the weird thing was like him being there. That's what they say in the Ray and Ghost book. They made amends with him like the day or two before he got killed in LA.
I think even Nas is going. Like there was a lot of like
he was
linking up with him and fixing whatever was going on during that time. Or there's always stories about. We were about to work on this. He went there.
He was going to do the fucking TONY remix for CNN.
That was crazy. Oh, that would have been insane after the LA situation.
Oh my God. And there's Prodigy. See, Prodigy talked about that shit too on the Questlove pod, being like him and Jay-Z, where he's like, we're all getting trashed by Tupac. He shouts out, talks about Nas, Mobb Deep, Jay-Z, and Biggie. And I'm the one out there like, let's go fucking kill this guy. Like, I'll go see him in LA. We're gonna do a song.
Drop a gem on him.
Come on. I didn't know. That's what it was.
You would think you're getting your headshots enough, but then think about flashbacks to robberies in Manhattan. What happened? Come on.
You know how like when people make their list of like best diss records, if that's not on it, your list is invalid to me because that record is amazing.
Dog.
Like who was going at Tupac like that at that time?
Not Jay-Z.
Nope.
Your man had nothing to say. He had nothing to fucking say. And Prodigy's like,
what?
My team's like a bunch of wild Puerto Ricans with bangers the size of African spears is warfare in the arena. We turn arenas into house of horrors.
Like
my clique, you better run behind shit. You better you better find it.
Let's take one more break.
He said get baptized.
Let's take one more break before our last bullet point.
Must have been drunk when you wrote that shit. Wow.
To be fair, he probably was.
Yeah, he probably was. Yeah, drinking Hennessy. Rest in peace.
All right, we'll be back. Call Out Culture, Lineage of Greatness, Biggie Smoke.
Has this ever happened to you? You go to drink a hot drink, but it's too hot and it burns your mouth.
God damn it.
So you cool it down with an ice cube, but the ice cube is haunted. Now you hear the voice of the governess echoing through your head, even though she's been dead for hundreds of years. Now you're at work. Your boss is talking to you, but all you can hear is, I know who killed me. I know who killed me. You've got to help the governess. But you won't be able to. Not while your boss is talking. Not while he's alive. Now you're on the run. It'll be nightfall soon, and You only have an hour left of kerosene in your flashlight. Why did you buy a flashlight that runs on kerosene? You hear the sirens in the distance. It won't be long now. Luckily, there's a solution. Call Me When You're Outside, the new album by Steel Tip Dove, is available now on Backwoods Studios Records. Limited run of vinyl and CDs available on backwoodsstudios.com. Digital album available on all digital streaming sites.
And we're back. Call Out Culture, the podcast. We're on Patreon. Fuck with us there. You get the episodes early. You get the one shots. We've been kind of chilling with the one shots lately, but there's a ton of them. There's about 20 so far this year. You can get exclusively on that website, patreon.com/Call Out Culture podcast. We have Mike King here, initial first time guest.
Hey.
We're wrapping up our last segment on Lineage of Greatness. Notorious B.I.G. Biggie Smalls. I remember reading it in the magazine when they announced like he's changing his name officially to the Notorious B.I.G. Because I knew him as Biggie Smalls. Castro, he was on the NBA Superstars tape as Biggie Smalls.
Oh, yeah, wow. Wasn't it like some Christian rapper or something?
And it was a white dude. It was a white dude, but he spelled it with a Z, Smalls. But yeah, Castro, remember that song? It's like him, Heavy D, and a dude named True Color talking the NBA shit. Where he says like, Biggie says, one in the chamber like Chambers, hitting that close range like Danny Ainge, nobody stranger. Yeah. Biggie Smalls, the Brooklyn thumper, would do what you jumper. Anyway, all right, so real quick, before we get to the final segment, I just want to throw this at people on the show here. I've said it on other shows years and years ago, but I have a thing called the Biggie theory I thought of, where Biggie was so singularly important as a flashpoint in the pantheon of rap in that, and I think Mike touched on it at the very beginning of the show, where his skill set was so dynamic and so powerful that he did create the ultimate schism of Jiggy versus real, right? And then the whole economy of you're either with that Jiggy shit or you're over here at Stretch and Bob or Bobito Footworks. Like the whole economy's created out of the kind of post Biggie world with the shiny suit shit. But Biggie was so phenomenal because he was the first guy, like we said, that had the club songs on Smash, the street joints on Smash, mixtapes on Smash, like Dreams of Fucking R&B Bitch and Road to Riches. Then he has the features on Smash, solo album, remixes, like 5-tool rapper who literally could do everything and hit every audience. Oh, you want to do stories? Okay, here's Morning. Boom. I could do a story better than you, right? I could flex in style in every which way. And so because he could do every kind of fucking style effortlessly and thrive, it's almost like how the reaction was, and I think Mike might have said about like OGC or like J. Rue, all those dudes in his wake were like, well, fuck. I mean, the songs I could have sold 500,000 2 years ago, it doesn't work anymore with this guy. Like because I can't make the club song while also owning mixtapes, hardcore dudes, backpack dudes, everybody else. And so he forced people to like dig in their heels to either say like Nas at that Source Awards being like, oh shit, I made Illmatic. Everyone says I'm the dopest dude in the world. Doesn't matter. I didn't make One More Chance remix. I didn't make fucking Can't You See with Total. So Nas is like, okay, no more of this, purity shit. I'm getting fucking Trackmasters. You know what I mean? Like I'm flipping Houdini. Here we go. Like I'm in the big leagues, right? And then the flip side is like, like the Roots with the, what they do video, kind of like clown him, but saying they didn't, De La, stakes is high, lamenting, it's all about money now and watches and and so sadly after he died, like Mike said about Puffy taking the reins and going even further and Mace and all that shit. But I feel like he forced people to reconsider what they were going to do with their careers and what was viable anymore. And then also help start Bobby, like Fondulum. And then later on, like Raucous and Jux is like, we're the anti that shit.
So your point here, we actually had an article about this on UGHH a few years ago. We talked about 97 being the year where like hip hop split in half, like you're talking about. And it was like 97 was like Co-Flow. At the same time, it was like the rise of.
And real quick, Mike, maybe you guys said it. Fun Crusher and No Way Out dropped the same day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what the article was about.
Oh,
it was
shit.
about them dropping on the same day. And you know, like you said, just like creating a very big schism between what hip hop was, and you know, in the wake of that, the raucous stuff, and like you said, jokes and so on. And yeah, a lot of people just had to choose a side at that point. And like we've been discussing, effectively, I chose that side, like the side of Co-Flow and all of that, because you know, I wasn't smart enough, comfortable enough, I don't know what the word was, where I felt like I could make the decision of like, oh, I like some of this and some of this.
Right.
And I think where we're at now is everyone is just like created their own subculture of rap that they like. It's like, yeah, I like some mumble rap. I like some Drake. I like some Aesop Rock. I like, you know, you just like some of everything.
Right.
And I think that's just a function of the maturity of hip hop that we didn't have at that time.
True.
You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Well, there was always like the sort of like real hip hop versus fake hip hop argument, and it just really like took off then. Like the partisanship was at an all-time high.
Word.
Partisanship.
Because back in the original groups dabbled in both. Like Houdini, look how they dress. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Jalil dressed one way, but Ecstasy, Rest in Peace dressed another day. So what?
Right.
I'm just saying, like there was the flamboyance, and that we're making some money. You know what I'm saying? It was always that a little bit, but you're right.
I mean, NWA had club songs.
True.
You know what I mean? They had like legit like house songs.
Oh shit! Drop beer on the laptop. Yeah, but they didn't have like you know like on 112 remixes. Like they didn't have like that element.
But nobody had that then.
That's what I'm saying. Like
He
just
but you had like ODB on a Mariah Carey record.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
But again, that was another instance of like, what are you rapping about? The song is about something else.
Exactly. That's a last bullet point, gentlemen, of the show. Who do you wish the Notorious B.I.G. Frank White worked with before he passed?
Nas.
Wow.
Right out the gate with it.
Either Nas or G-Rap.
G-Rap, that's a good one. Alaska.
Scarface or Cube.
Ooh.
Wow.
Very strong picks.
I gave
Very
you
strong
chills.
picks.
So Cube popped up on the Born Again album, which I was running today.
That
on a
doesn't
song
count.
with
Canon.
Beanie.
That doesn't count. Yeah.
It's not
Right?
canon.
But it's like worst. It's like Don Mega Cube, which is
Oh
bad.
God, yeah.
Yay.
But it's like Beanie walking up that ladder to success escalator style, where he's like jumping out of vids like Hannibal Smith, like, and Biggie's his hero, so he's trying to shine. Yeah, that did happen.
Oh, you know who else I would love to hear with Big? Siegel.
That would have been something.
That's his hero. If you go back to Siegel, like him and Jay are like neck and neck. Like who's gonna bite Biggie's style more?
Yeah.
All the
There's a lot
time.
of Biggie in his style. People don't notice, I think, because they're missing with the gruffness.
No, like he auditioned for the movie. Like he wanted to be big. Like everything in his life was about trying to be Biggie.
Listen to his flow, how he breaks his stuff down. It's very a lot of Biggie in it.
No, even Peaches and Cream. His whole verse on that is Biggie shit. Well, 112.
Who would I want Biggie to work with?
What about producers?
He did so much in that era. Like just checking off like RZA, KG, Premier, Lord Finesse, Easy Mo B.
I would have liked Biggie to work with Camp Low.
Ooh.
And I'll be like a real Camp Low song, like a Lucchini part.
Yeah.
Yo, that'd be fire. That'd be fire.
Yeah.
Although, you know who else I would love to hear with Camp Low? Either Ghost or Cameron.
Ooh, Camp.
How is Ghost never work with Camp Low, man?
I mean, that just seems like such a natural fit.
Yeah,
Especially like when Pretty Tony and what the hell was the name of their second record?
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again. Like
That
they dropped
weird
almost
as
at
fuck.
the same time, and
Yeah.
it was like,
yeah, similar
Big
vibes.
Doe
The whole black exploitation.
yeah.
Camp Low could have been on Big Doe Rehab. They would have fit.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Like that would have been.
trying to think who I would want to hear Biggie with.
Wait, did he ever do a Ski record?
No.
No.
And Ski was all over the J
No,
shit.
wait. I got the big one. The Gold Legendary. I think he could have. Because I mean that Super Cat song was crazy. If he did something with Bob, or if he did something with like the Marley family,
I would want him. I would want him on Beat Miners. I want him on
That
like
would've
the
been great.
Shining era beats
Yeah.
from Beat Miners.
Yeah,
Okay.
but that wouldn't have happened because of that.
I know.
What Boot Camp was
They,
saying.
they
about
shot
them
their own
before.
dicks off. Like,
Yeah.
don't be a fucking idiot, dude. Work with this
no,
guy.
but they were Brooklyn. Some of them were Brownsvillians. There was no way that them and Biggie were gonna get along. After it broke up, after it broke down, there was no coming back from that.
What about Freestyle Fellowship?
Seriously?
Like the sort of musicalities in I mean, their flow is so wild, and
I love those
did
guys.
go with, like, he did go well with Bones
Yeah,
Thugs Harmony. He might have been able to like really like
get
jump
into
into that Micah 9 style.
Okay, so I was listening to Road to Riches today, where he sounds like just as fucking incredible on all the death row shit as Snoop does, right?
Yeah.
I would like to hear him, like, but that era of death row. Like, I don't like the post Dre death row.
No.
Like,
Yeah,
like Dre, like Daz, like that run with those dudes and him, because he could just fit anywhere. Like I'm kind of overwhelmed at like who to pick in that era for that he didn't work with.
Did he do anything with Too Short?
Yeah, on The World Is Filled. I got a whole lot of bitches in my lifetime.
That's on No Way Out, right? Yeah, that's great. I love that song. Dragging Mink on the Floor.
Yeah,
I'm glad that him and Eminem got to do the track together.
I listened to that today.
Devil's Worship. Yeah, that was a huge.
I listened to that today, and that Eminem verse is not good.
No,
like as far as like Eminem verses go, it's not good. And then I was just like listening to what Biggie was saying. I'm like, yo, this song wasn't supposed to come out. Like, these are really, really fucked up things.
It's very fucked up. Yeah. There's a song on the Born Again joint with Too Short where it's like a verse he must have done for Luke, because he's just talk about pissing on bitches and fucking them in the ass. I'm like, God damn, bro, this is like too much for me. Like, this should not be on your posthumous release. Like,
yeah,
this should be on the 2 Live Crew shit, wherever the fuck it was supposed to be. Just leave it over there. It was foul. It was like Nas level gross. I was like, ugh.
Wait, I know Havoc did a beat for Biggie. Did they ever do a song though? Like, yeah. Prodigy?
Oh no. They're also on Born Again. It's not good.
Yeah, we don't count that. Like
Munch.
Pharaoh?
Yeah.
I was thinking about him
Pharaoh
doing a song. I was thinking about that. That would be kind of crazy, especially that era Pharaoh.
Over some decent for me.
Like if Biggie had OC's verse on like Organized.
There is no Pharaoh Monch in Premier song, and that's shocking.
That's wild.
Oh,
like he's on some OC records doing like hooks, but
okay,
they probably got something going.
I got it. I got my pick. He should have been on the Crooklyn Dodgers 2 song.
2?
Yes, with Chubb Rock. Yes, on that beat, that Brooklyn shit. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, nice. I can never envision him and J. Rue working together. They were their eternal opposites and enemies. I'll never would.
So let him replace J. Rue.
Yeah, I'll put it right in that spot on that beat.
I would never do that. I love J. Rue. He's crazy.
I would. I love J. Rue, but he's not blocking Biggie on a song with
one of the few people that I
Premier OC and fucking Chubb Rock on the Clockers.
Biggie,
on the Clockers,
J. Rue, the damager, motherfucker.
Because you're always about the underdog. That's so
what?
typical.
So what? I root for J. Rue, the damager.
Is this because J. Rue uses a chew stick and Biggie doesn't?
No. No, that's not why. J. Rue had the beard and he was on Nubian and shit. What?
Yeah.
Couldn't tell me nothing about me and J. Rue. That's my spirit animal.
I played a show with J. Rue in like 2006 and he had on dirty sweatpants.
I wanted to
Dirty.
I told you I wanted to ask
From
I was gonna,
Models.
get him to do a hook. I was gonna get him to do a hook on Little Rock.
Nah, yo, J. Rue is one of the coolest dudes I've met in rap. Like, I did a show with him in Paris. I can't remember what year. Let's say it's like 06 or something like that. And like that was my only in-person interaction with him. And then I showed up at a party he was throwing in Boston. And like, I'm like, yeah, I'm coming in to see J. Rue. And I hadn't like talked to him in advance. And the doorman was like, who are you? I'm like, Icon. And then he goes and tells J. Rue, and J. Rue's like, yeah, that's my man. Bring him in. So like, I've had other, interactions with him since, but every time he's been super cool to me. So I got nothing bad to say about J. Rue. He's staying on that song for me.
Hell yeah. I'm sorry, I love Biggie, but in terms of Biggie versus J. Rue, and the death beam is pointed at the earth, and you got one shot to win it all.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm going with J. Rue the damager.
Yo,
Man,
well, your man got splashed out on kicking
killed.
the door. Yeah, your man got taken out on kicking the door. Okay, son, I'm surprised you run with them. They must got coming them because they nothing but dicks try to blow up like nitro and dynamite sticks.
Yo, I don't understand how Primo.
Wait, that's about J. Rue?
Yes, when he looked at Premiere and he said, "Son, I'm surprised you run with them."
Yeah.
That was
I don't understand how like Primo is just down with everybody and they're all like dissing each other over his track.
Primo was like, this was out to you, and Primo was like, in the control room like this.
It's like, I just make the beats and get 40 bands of beat. I'm good. I don't
20
care.
bands. Give me about 25 bands. Y'all can say whatever y'all want about each other. Where's my 25?
He was, when I caught it years and years later when he went at Nas on Victory. Your fam, Destiny lays in my hand, Gat lays in my waist. Talking about Nas's daughter.
No, that's not what that's about. He said your destiny, not
your fam, Destiny lays it. He hid that shit. He was
His
good.
daughter's
With that
name
shit,
is
bro.
Destiny.
Yes,
I know it is. I said nah.
No, bro, you don't know about my Biggie Wars. Who you think kicking the door was for? But that's my heart. You'll still trip it on. Yo, I love how Nas on Last Real and Bob Alive is always like, yo, Jay-Z was never and will never be shit when it comes to me and Biggie. That dude is a fucking afterthought. It is about me and Biggie and Raekwon and Ghost and Biggie. Jay-Z is never in this fucking conversation. Don't get it fucked up that he's popping now. That's silly. Let's stop all that shit. It was me and this guy gunning at each other and Ray and Ghost popping off. I'm like, I tend to believe you. You know, you don't fuck around.
Yeah, no, but that's true from that. All right.
Well, hold on. But what would we think? I mean, I know that song 10 Bricks and whatever came out after the fact, but how y'all feel about Ray, Ghost, and Biggie?
That would be fucking on a RZA, like 94 RZA beat. Verbal Intercourse 2 with Biggie or some shit.
Pure RZA. It's not Taco Bell RZA.
Possible meet Dad Jeans RZA. You not feeling that one? You're not into this?
It sounds like nacho cheese.
Yo, like 4 different people today all hit me at different times about the Wu-Tang Crocs. They were like, yo, you grabbing a pair? I'm like, fucking with me.
Fire that yellow. So why
I'm wearing yellow Crocs at the moment.
No, but is it me or is there like a Wu-Tang yellow? They never really go gold. They always have this nice, this particular
it's
yellow.
A specific yellow, definitely.
Yeah, specific like Killer B yellow, because I would think by now they would go gold like the Raekwon emblem, like, you know what I'm saying, a little bit more muted, a little more rusted, just because it would work. You could just do different colors, but I remember they always went with that damn yellow. All right, anyway.
Well, and real quick, shouts to Def C. He already bought his bag. He received his bag of Ghostface's Killer Coffee. He showed me a picture today.
Oh, he did get a Killer Coffee?
Bought it. Yo, I was saying, if Ghostface will put his name, Def C. He got the Killer Coffee. I'm like, yo, every 2 years, Ghostface will put his name on fucking crypto, vapes. He don't give a fuck. He's all about licensing. I love it.
Weed is great.
Adrian Young albums, he don't give a fuck. His name's on it.
So that is something that I think would be really interesting to consider about Biggie. Like, what sort of things would he have done with his brand?
Right.
Oh, shit. Oh,
I feel like he would have been like, I think he would have diversified like how Shaq surprises us with certain commercials. I think he would have done it.
You say he would have been rapping for the General?
The General, Papa John's.
Nah, he definitely would have had clothes, big and tall.
It's a great episode in Martin, but he still blew it away in Martin. We were surprised. He was natural as hell. He would be, I don't know, the All-State guy right now. Who knows?
Yo, that's the one thing real quick. Jay never did outside of his cameo on one of the Rockefeller. He never acted.
Yeah, he was
Never
really
made
bad.
the cameo.
He was really bad in that cameo.
He's never pursued it ever.
He doesn't even a lot of his commercials. He don't talk really.
He's not really.
Yeah, he's like moving his hands or walking around as they're recreating his album covers.
He'll get the overdub. He'll get the side and shit, but he won't be like talking. But all right, y'all. I think we've reached the end of our Brownsville Brick Road on the Diggy Walk. May he rest in eternal peace.
Yes.
We are grateful for all the things he contributed. We're not too fond of duets and Born Again, but whatever.
The King and I, you're not banging that one?
Canon.
Not canon.
Yeah, it's like the new Star Wars shows.
Oh, that hurts Alaska. Oh, low blow to Alaska.
Alaska, you didn't watch the newest episode of Obi-Wan.
I did. You didn't tell me that Mando popped up in Boba Fett. I watched the recap.
Of course.
Boba Fett was awful.
Really?
But I didn't know
like
Mando and Grogu was all in there. I didn't know that was happening.
I like
it. Man, I could not fuck with Boba Fett at all.
It was silly. No, those pop people on those weird motorcycles that couldn't go fast. I know that was driving. I was like, he's like, what the?
He said it had like the whole mumblecore scene, putting like appendages on robots and stuff, like giving dudes robot arms.
See, Alaska's like old school Star Wars fan. Like he got the books and shit. Like I never read none of that. If it wasn't,
I never read any of that stuff.
If it wasn't in a film, I never saw it.
Books will make you like super canon because they introduce so many little characters. But anyway, y'all.
Oh,
I'm like the only person I know that likes the new trilogy. Like I love the new trilogy.
It's got the best lightsaber scenes.
It does. And Last Jedi is like top 2 Star Wars movie for me.
What if Biggie was in
or maybe top 3?
He turned around. It's a trap, y'all.
Yo, I want to say before we wrap it up officially that Mike unknowingly, your appearances on the Rap Library Pod and Dad Bod Pod, our homies over there, your name has popped up on the group chats as required listening amongst the rap homies.
Thank you.
Let's say it publicly. Everyone after you listen to this, listen to those pods about Mike's journey, about his new project, about the marketing fucking genius behind all the shit he's trying out. Listen, steal all those ideas. We've been telling clients of ours in our consulting, like, listen to those Mike King episodes. Some shit, get the Glow Up official.
Yo,
do it.
Just real quick before we jump off, like the record I got with Music Soul Child, it's like being played on commercial radio. Videos about to go on MTV. Like it's weird. You know what I'm saying? It's weird, like, to be in this space after, you know, all the stuff I tried back in the day that just didn't work.
Right. And now you have something that's on the incline. We're all experiencing that in different levels with our career. But congratulations.
You had the billboard in Times Square.
Yeah, I did 4 billboards in Times Square on Mother's Day. It was
wow.
It's been a lot of fun, man. I've been enjoying this.
So go listen to him on those pods, Rap Library and Dad Bod, to steal all Mike's ideas. They're available. They're free. Just steal them. He don't give a fuck. And take a picture if you see the billboards in the future. So that's it. Alaska, you got anything else happening?
I guess the second Black Sabbath episode that we're doing will be dropping.
Oh,
by the
nice.
time this comes out.
With
Gang, yeah. And I think Sharif is on that one.
Nice. Shouts to Fatboy Sharif.
So other than that, not much, just a couple of records being mixed and worked on.
Dope.
But I don't really want to
I'm trying to hear those.
I get once I get a decent mix on some stuff, I'll send you some stuff. Like
that's what's up.
Castro, did you want to share any news with anybody about anything we're working?
I'm healing well. We new shopping record is being mixed and mastered and is about to be up for production. So on schedule to drop this year. But it sounds like a whole new record after Willie Green touches it. It's ridiculous now. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous before. Now it's ridiculous.
Ridiculoid. Perfect.
Did Dove produce that whole thing?
Dove produced 8 tracks. Olaf of More Mother Fame produced 2 tracks, and then Child Actor produced 3.
Bang.
Or other way around. Child Actor produced 2, or Olaf produced 3, something like that. But Dove did like 8. He did the majority of the beats, and he had the filling in the rest.
That's what's up.
Any other albums? Are we allowed to talk about it yet, Castro, real quick? Or
Go ahead.
so the Wrecking Crew album, Sedale Threat, is being sent off shortly for manufacturing. So that should be coming out. It features some incredible people on the show, not on this show, but it is the first real album from me, Castro, and Prem Rock, with a little bit of Small Pro in there, with a couple other people. So that'll maybe drop this month. Who the fuck knows? But we have the artwork now for all the physicals in hand. And the mixing and mastering is done. Just about. The very, very end. We're 99% finished. So you'll hear a lot of that on the show. The show exists to promote us first. That's our marketing scheme, Mike. Start a fucking podcast.
It's smart.
Make 150 episodes and then plug your fucking music on the show. There
I'm
you
saying.
go.
It's like the Michelin guide. That was made just to get people to drive more places so that they would have to buy tires.
Bang.
There you go.
Dope. This is good. We're gonna have a marketing spin-off series. There's me and Mike. Okay, fuck the Black Sabbath Alaska spin-off. We're gonna have the me and Mike marketing thing. We're gonna charge for that $50 an episode.
Do you have another podcast? Lee?
What'd you say?
Don't you have another podcast?
I don't have another podcast.
1520 Sedgwick's Playlist.
Oh, it's not a pod. That's an IG live thing with me, Dan O from Free Music, and Chong Wizard Dude talking about current comic books. But yeah, they're only on YouTube. It's not a podcast. Maybe it will be. Maybe that'll be a part of our network. We haven't figured out yet. But there you go. So we'll do the me and Mike marketing show, $50 an episode, and then me, Dan O, and Chong Wizard talking comics, and then Castro, you can do the weed show or whatever the fuck you want to do. That'd be cool. The J. Rue show.
That would be dope.
Lineage the Great is J. Rue. All right, boys. Anything else you got to say?
All right. Nah, you signing off. The blouse, the blowing, the baby. Or my favorite Biggie overdub. Which I think Puppy would be in the studio at 3 in the morning while Biggie wasn't there, just keying it in on a pad.
I promise you, that's what Migos do.
Oh man!
Yeah, on a trigger pad, and then you press it. Mama said you ain't worth shit.
This is fucking cool.
All right, y'all. We out.
All right, boys. See you later. Peace.
Peace.
Later.